In just a few hours, a court of appeals will hear the Trump administration's request to overturn the restraining order that's keeping the National Guard from deploying to Portland. We'll preview the hearing coming up in our top story.
And 2 hikers who got lost in the Gorge have been rescued. How rescue crews found them coming up. Plus,
we found that in the past 2 decades or so, that our forests, that Colorado's forests have emitted more carbon than they've captured.
Yeah, researchers in Colorado found that some forests are actually releasing more carbon these days than they're storing. The reason behind the shift and why it matters. The 6 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now.
well, good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Corey Johnson in for China Green today.
And I'm Drew Carney. We also have Chris McGinnis and Rod Hill on board. You know, Corey was trying to convince me earlier, gang, that Thursday is almost as good as Friday.
It is. It's Friday Junior, Friday Eve.
I feel like there's a big distance between the greatness of Friday and what Thursday is.
Positive thinking.
It's good when tomorrow actually is a day off for you, though. Flex!
Oh, I was wondering. I was like, who falls into that category? Mr.
I had
McGinnis.
to work the weekend, so I get tomorrow off.
Okay, so Chris is on Team Corey this morning. He thinks Thursday's just great. Okay. Here's a look at our satellite radar. Rain pattern is back. Good morning. Now, right now, if you look carefully, rain offshore, rain up the Cascades, no rain. Longview, Portland, Salem, down into Eugene. And it looks like we will stay dry this morning in the Rose City. But here's where the rain is, crawling northward up the Cascades, and it's now raining up through the Gorge. So there's the Dalles, there's Mosier, Hood River. So again, if you're driving out, by the time you get toward Carson and just past, it looks like Cascade Lock, Stevenson area, you'll start to find some rain on 84. All right, we are dry. We have a mixed bag of broken cloudiness over the city right now. 52 out at the airport. So to the bus stop we go. Dry this morning, still dry at noon, 59 degrees. Like yesterday, it's tough to tell how much sun we see or do not see. The clouds kind of won more than the sun yesterday. Could happen again today. Rain chances pick up, it looks like mid to late afternoon and into this evening. 63 degrees when the kids get out of school. Chris?
Rod, thanks for that. Let's take you to Wilsonville. Here's your I-5 commute. The headlights on the left-hand side of your screen. That's southbound I-5. Northbound getting a little bit busier, but we're still zipping along at, well, speed limit clip coming in from that side of town. We'll take you out to the west side. Here's Cedar Hills Boulevard, Highway 26. That too looks pretty good. And last but not least, we'll hop over to the east side. Got to make the early morning run from Vancouver to the airport. There's your southbound drive over the Glen Jackson Bridge. That is zipping right along as well. Guys, so far, no freeway trouble out there just yet.
All right, good to hear, Chris. Thank you. Well, Israel and Hamas have agreed to the first phase of a peace plan outlined by President Donald Trump. In a social media post, the president wrote that the agreement means all remaining hostages held by Hamas will be released. In exchange, more than 1,900 Palestinian prisoners will be released as well. Now, coming up at 6:20, we'll have more details and more reaction from those who live in Israel and Gaza on the ceasefire deal.
To local news now, new this morning. Portland police say they arrested 4 people near the ICE facility yesterday, 3 of them for harassment. The 4th person was initially cited for menacing and released, but then about an hour later, officers arrested them for allegedly shining what was described as a powerful blue laser into a Portland police airplane. Police also say most of yesterday's protest activity didn't happen right in front of the ICE facility. Instead, they say it took place about a block away. Last night, our crew covering the protests saw police handcuff someone, but it's not clear if that person was one of the 4 mentioned in last night's arrest report. And in just a few hours, an appeals court will hold a hearing to address, again, the deployment of the National Guard to Portland.
That's right. That hearing is scheduled to start at 9 o'clock. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz is covering this story for us from South Portland and joins us live near the ICE facility. Thomas, what's the latest right now?
Yeah, well, guys, today those judges will hear arguments from attorneys from both the state of Oregon and the federal government. They'll both make their cases. Now, this hearing will be live streamed and it'll be remote as well. There's really one big question that these judges are tasked with answering. Does President Trump have the authority to send the National Guard to Portland based on the protests we've seen? For weeks, President Trump has characterized Portland as being war-ravaged and tried to bring in the Oregon National Guard. When that was blocked, the administration pivoted and tried to instead bring in National Guard troops from California and Texas. That was also blocked by the same federal judge who said the administration didn't show federal troops were needed in Portland. Now it's up to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals to review that decision.
So I think the Ninth Circuit really is going to have to get into the details of whether the president has offered any evidence to back up his assertion that chaos and war are reigning in downtown Portland.
The three-judge panel will decide whether to uphold or reverse a temporary order barring deployment of the National Guard. Over the weekend, Judge Karen Emmerget, who's a Trump appointee, ruled National Guard troops could not be deployed here for at least 14 days. Now, both sides have filed extensive briefs. The state of Oregon argues the deployment of the National Guard is unnecessary and unlawful. The feds say the president has the authority and extra help is needed, in their opinion, down here along the ICE facility here in South Portland. Now, today, once again, that hearing will be held at 9 a.m. Each side will get 20 minutes to present their cases. They'll also likely get questions from the judges as well. That'll not intervene with their 20 minutes that's allocated to them. It's unclear when a decision will be made, but of course that is something that we'll be watching for closely. Drew, Corey.
All right, Thomas Schultz live for us there near the South Waterfront. Now, we plan to stream the appeals court hearing live this morning at 9, followed by analysis from our own team here at KGW, and that will be available on our free TV app, KGW+.
All right, we're also learning this morning about a bizarre arrest near Ross Island on Tuesday night. Police say 36-year-old Nathan Khalil was wanted in connection with a disturbance at the ICE facility. When officers approached him near the Willamette River, they say he hid in the bushes and then dove into the water. Khalil then swam to Ross Island and was later tracked down by K-9 units. He was charged with robbery and criminal mischief.
Well, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem was back at the White House yesterday, where the president held a roundtable to discuss efforts to crack down on left-leaning groups, specifically the anti-fascist movement known as Antifa. Secretary Noem accused Oregon's governor, Portland's mayor, and other leaders of, quote, covering up terrorism.
These leaders in these local cities, along with Pritzker and Johnson, ignore what's going on, or, sir, they're helping Antifa cover it up.
And in Portland, Oregon, Antifa thugs have repeatedly attacked our offices and laid siege to federal property in an attempt to violently stop the execution of federal law. Everything we're doing is very lawful.
Now, President Donald Trump recently signed an order designating Antifa as a domestic terrorist organization, even though the group is not an actual organization with leadership, but rather a broad term that can be applied to some decentralized far-left groups.
2 hikers who were lost in the gorge for hours have been rescued. The Multnomah County Sheriff's Office says they called 911 right around 10:30 Tuesday night, saying that they couldn't find their way back. Rescue crews used GPS coordinates from a hiking app to find them near the Rock of Ages trail. Now, that trail has actually been closed off and off limits since the Eagle Creek fire 8 years ago. A drone helped spot the hikers who were found cold and thirsty, but otherwise they were okay.
Well, Timberline is warning about higher prices this season after a change in insurance coverage. The resort says its insurance carrier left Oregon on October 1st, forcing it to find new insurance, but at a much steeper price. Now, some of that extra cost will be passed on to skiers and boarders, specifically peak time lift tickets, Tier 2 season passes, and summer ski products. Now, there's no set date for when the season officially opens at Timberline, but it typically happens around Thanksgiving.
I don't like that warning, Rod Hill. I like the warnings that say, don't drink the water. It's not safe. This one is warning. We're charging you more.
I mean, it's part of that story that insurance just seems to be on a runaway freight train, all kinds of insurance. And you have to wonder if any of us are going to be able to afford any type of insurance 10 years from now.
Not to get too far. Oh, never mind. Brian said he doesn't want to hear from me anymore, so our director took me off the screen. It's all yours, Rod. Weather, please.
Well, that means Brian doesn't like high insurance either. That's what that means. All right. Here's our upper level low offshore spinning. That's producing rain so far offshore, but the shower chance is in your forecast for the coast. This is exactly what Futurecast showed 24 hours ago. Rain showers early this morning crawling north up the Cascades, mainly near the crest and over on the east flank, and then pushing up through the gorge. It's raining in Hood River, raining in the Dalles right now, according to radar. Here's a look at the dry bricks in downtown Portland from our Pioneer Park building. 52 degrees. We have broken cloudiness up top. More cloud cover on the east side this morning, less on the west side. And that's a temperature difference. 40 Hillsborough, 40 Forest Grove. But you get 15 Gresham, 52 in Tri-Tail. That's not because of the winds this morning. Winds are generally light from the west. Salem is cool, 43, so more breaks in the cloud cover in the mid-valley as well. And there's Corvallis and Dallas each at 39. Good morning. Your morning chill underway. All right, later today, 70s out east, mainly dry weather. The best chance of rain overall today is what's going on right now. The rain crawling up the Cascades and pushing through the Dalles and Hood River. There is expected to be a shower or two covering parts of the valley mid to late afternoon into this evening today. But a lot of us could just simply stay dry. And again, the coast, a rain chance, but a lot of you simply could stay dry today. All right, 65 the high. Tomorrow really is the kickoff of what will be a wet pattern. Rain at times, including some heavier rain rates passing the gray rain at times weekend into Monday. Maybe we have a dry Tuesday. That's followed by Wednesday showers returning. That's your update.